fabric of many Cameroonians. The ABC syndrome, accused, blame, and condemn, has eaten deep into our fabric. And this is very bad because it has finally led to the entitlement syndrome. The entitlement syndrome in itself is a panacea to destroy every nation's economy. We accuse, condemn, and blame, except but ourselves. As 2025 presidential election is approaching, let us ask ourselves the question: how ready are we mentally for change? How ready are we mentally to pick a leader? How ready are we mentally to ensure that most of the cries that we have in the quarters will be heard by the political stakeholders? It is common when you walk from Bamenda to Douala, walk from Douala to Sangmelema, you walk from Sangmelema to Yaoundé, you walk from Yaoundé to Kuseri, you walk from Kuseri, you move to Manyeme in Mamfe. One thing is for sure: Cameroonians share common problems. They complain every day. Oh, roads are not good. Oh, we have electricity. Oh, the economy is so bad. Oh, there is insecurity. Oh, the educational system has a problem. Oh, the health sector is creeping and crawling, and so on and so forth. But the irony here is that all of these people who complain, very few have actually registered to vote in the upcoming presidential election. And when it comes to political parties, they will tell you, oh, you can never win election in Cameroon. Oh, the electoral system is rigged. Oh, when you come to political parties, you say, okay, CPDM, oh, this party is rigged. Oh, it's a party that is eating money. Oh, it's a party of bourgeoisies. You go to the opposition party, you call the SDF. Oh, SDF this. SDF is eating with the regime. You go to CRM. That's even the what. You go to this one. Oh, this one. A lot of complaints and complaints and complaints. And then we now say, okay, let us look at the independent candidates. Oh, the independent candidates are joke. Oh, they are sponsored by the regime. Oh, the independent candidates are distraction. All these questions. How ready are we? And that's why Bob Marley once sang, emancipate yourself from mental slavery, because none but yourself can free your own mind. We must emancipate ourselves from the thought of negativity and look at solutions. Rarely will you hear Cameroonians who sit in beer parlors, who sit at the comfort of their homes, talking about solutions without blaming. We blame everybody. We blame all politicians. We blame everyone, excluding ourselves. With us, we are okay. Until we realized that solutions is what bring the nation forward and what develop the nation, that we shall continue to be singing and singing and complaining and complaining. Albert Einstein once said, the world will only be a better place if those who react when they ought to react. And he went further in noting that being an evil man, according to Albert Einstein, you must not commit evil, but staying silent when evil is being committed makes you an evil man. And so therefore, as we prepare for 2025 presidential election, it is incumbent on us as Cameroonians to have a mindset that can be solution-oriented and not a mindset that can keep complaining and complaining. For the past 42 years or so, we have been complaining. What has changed? And many will tell you elections can never be won on the ballot, but there is power in the number. There was an election that took place last week in Uganda between Bobby Wine and Yoweri Museveni's party. It was a crucial election, a by-election that was conducted in Uganda's parliament, that Bobby Wine needed a seat, and also the president's party, Yoweri Museveni, needed that same seat. And many have called Yoweri Museveni a dictator, an election rigger, just to name these. But Bobby Wine did not give up. And the opposition won that crucial seat. It was a very crucial seat. How did they win it? The mass turnout. There was a massive voters registration and massive voting in such a way that the election could not be rigged. The bigger the number, the more difficult it is to rig an election. And every 10 Cameroonians who complain, only 7 don't have voters card. About only 1 has actually voted in recent election. All the record is 1992, 1992. 1992 because a lot of people turn out to vote. And that's why after 1992, what else? We keep saying that nothing can change in our lives. Are we not still giving our lives trials? Are we not still giving our lives opportunities? Are we giving up? If we cannot give up in our individual lives, some of us have had failed relationship upon relationship. Do we give up because relationships have failed? We keep trying. And why can't we try this election? What do you have to lose? This is House of Commons with me, Tah Mai Javis. Happy Sunday to all those of you watching us from different parts of the world. If you are watching us from the north, west, south, west, littoral, west, center, far northeast region, south region, we want to wish you a very happy Sunday. Today we shall be looking at 2 crucial topics. The opening session of the March parliamentary session of the House, where the eldest member of parliament addressed the hemicycle. She called on political stakeholders to shun violence and to respect state institutions, and that we as a people must shun away from violence and turn down our hateful rhetoric and look at the things that unite us more than the things that divide us. The eldest member of parliament also noted that Cameroon is a state of law, and also appeal to political stakeholders and Electoral and those conducting the election that they should please ensure a transparent process which many Cameroonians will actually celebrate. However, she praised President Paul Biya's vision and praised democracy in Cameroon on President Paul Biya. She says democracy in Cameroon is thanks to the effort of President Paul Biya. We had the reintroduction of multi-party politics in 1990. In 1990, the reintroduction of multi-party politics by President Paul Biya. However, many opposition and some opposition members actually had some reservation on some part of the speech, but applauded the general sense of the peaceful conduct of election and applauded the general sense about turning down the rhetoric, the hateful rhetoric of many political stakeholders. She appealed to those who are in the field to please be sanitized and do politics in a very mature and resourceful manner that will move the nation forward and further bring the people together rather than destabilizing or taking the people away from each other. In the studio, we have our cream of panelists who are already here with us. Some are on their way, and here in the studio we have Engineer Dixon, who is someone that is of the civil society and understands some of the intricacies as far as the nation, political situation of our country is concerned. Is also someone that has got trained a lot of researchers, students across our universities in Cameroon as far as the engineering department is concerned. Engineer Dixon, happy Sunday and thanks for joining us.
Happy Sunday, Javis, and happy Sunday to our televiewers. It's a real privilege to be here today. It's a sunny day, and to dissect some key pertinent issues which the common man is concerned with, and we hope that we will not waste any effort in bringing light to the topics of concern. Thank you.
Also here we have Emmanuel, who is also here with us, member of the civil society. Happy Sunday.
Good morning to everybody. Good morning, dear listeners. Good morning to our own prophet, Engineer Dixon, who is on seat. Mr. Javis, you're welcome back from Bamenda.
Thank you.
You went and saw things for yourself, and you're back. Before we delve into
the road are terrible.
The issues of today, you have a lot of stories to tell us as to what your cameras saw. Dear listeners, fellow Cameroonians, it is another day for us to talk about Cameroon. And by talking about Cameroon, we are trying to bring on board the stakes of things. Who is supposed to do what and who is supposed to act at what particular moment. Just like the president, the eldest member of the National Assembly, implored Cameroonians we have a lot of things to say about her speech. We shall be coming back to it. And I want to take this singular opportunity to extend my greetings to the son of the Noni, who is here in Douala. He came to visit the Noni people, and he's right there watching the program. His Royal Highness Mfontang Joseph, you are welcome to Douala. We, the Noni people in Douala, we are proud to have you as one of us, leading us, guiding us, and educating us. Thank you, Mr. Javis. We shall be coming back to more details of what we have today, especially as the Pobia Glass House has spoken.
Of course, the Pobia Glass House has actually spoken, and also just to let our viewers understand that, yeah, of course, I was in Bamenda, and the roads are terribly terrible. And you could, in fact, Bamenda city has the worst roads as a city in Cameroon. As far as the city in Cameroon is concerned, when we complain about Douala, that Douala hasn't gotten road, Douala is paradise as compared to Bamenda. When you move to Bafoussam, Bafoussam is paradise. When you move to Boya, Boya is paradise. When you move even to Kumba, somehow Kumba is a bit better than the Bamenda. From city chemist roundabout to the commercial venue, it is hell in itself. And I asked the question when I was in Bamenda, what does the regional assembly do? What is the role of the city mayor of Bamenda? What is the role of the different municipal mayors in Bamenda? What is also the role of town urban planning and regional development, the urban Ministry of Urban Planning? What is the role of public works? Now, if you look at all these and reconstruction, yet Bamenda is a shadow of itself when it comes to road, a total shadow of itself. I was actually very, very sad when I actually went to Bamenda, Engineer Dixon. I don't know, you have seen some of those pictures, you have heard some of the testimony. The question is, what is happening?
Before diving into answer that question, I think I want to address our first topic there, I think, which is the PMP urging that there should be no, we should respect state institutions. Mr. Javis, I'll take you back memory lane. I think before 2011 election, presidential election 2011, we all were of the opinion that things are going to change tremendously. And today we are 14 years from that 2011. Before 2011, major projects were launched in this country. We talked about a railway that will connect Douala to Chad, Jamena. A lot, the dams, ring roads were earmarked, a lot were happening. You know, there was a whole document that was published. I believe I still have that document, soft copy. 14 years down the lane, where is the check and balance? What have been achieved so far? The 2011 came with all the ambitious projects. Cameroonians were looking forward to a better and new Cameroon. A mandate was given to the regime. 2018 came without doing the check and balances. Another mandate was given. The thing I don't understand about Cameroonians is that they don't understand that leadership has a time frame, and sometimes they allow time to take them unaware, and they start running hectare scatter. Even our famous musician Petit Pays has a very prominent song that we all are going to die, and he has a phrase there, même le chef d'État meurt. But we are not wishing anything like that for the father of the nation. I'm simply saying that Cameroonians should put checks and balances together and see where we can make adequate decisions to push things forward. And if things were actually right, Mr. Javis, I think that there will be no fear. Cameroonians by nature are loving people. Cameroonians by nature are respectful people. I believe that if we are sensitive, before Cameroonians will boil to the extent that they will start disobeying state institutions, there will already be indicators. But so far up to now, I don't think that there's any indicator that is pointing out that there is going to be any rioting anywhere, except things may change in the days ahead, which we all are watching. If things will not go the way Cameroonians are anticipating or expecting to come, because everybody has been clamoring change, and the common man is crying change, but those who are ahead to bring this change are also in confusion, total disarray. We talk on the opposition party, total disarray. The independent candidates, they have not yet won the confidence of the public, the masses. So there's a lot of things that are not adding up. But we pray that there shouldn't be any disrespect of state institution. But either way, I think that Cameroonians should come up to the consciousness that we all owe this country a duty, and we should always man up to giving our best when duty calls. Thank you.
Now before moving to you, Emmanuel, there have been several calls across political stakeholders that many are worried that the violence rectorate has actually increased as within this election period. But why the tension? Why is it felt at both sides? Why the tension?
I think it's just an anticipation. There's no tension. I haven't seen any tension. We are on we walk in the streets. We talk with the common people. Nobody has any tension. If they have tension, I think tension is with them at the top. They are the ones that are having tension. We don't have tension. When I was in Boya, yesterday I was in Limbe. I walked in the streets of Limbe. There wasn't any tension in Limbe. I was in Boya, no tension in Boya. So when they sit in Yaoundé and they are already pointing out that there's going to be tension, then they are the ones who are feeling the tension. I don't think that the common man as at now is feeling the tension. What the common man is feeling now is the hunger that we have been crying about. And I think that in the month of December, I think December when they came and gave rice, it shows that the plea of the common man was somewhere it fed on certain yes. But the rice also was subsidized. We went and check again the market that some rice some rice have come down a little bit. They removed I think 1,500 or 2,000 for 25 kg, which is a good thing. So we want to see that the common man can live a normal life. But if they are in Yaoundé, they are saying there's going to be tension, we don't understand the tension. All we are preparing to do is to vote. And we have been calling on Cameroonians to register massively so we can go out and vote. And that's what we are waiting. We are waiting for the day that we go and make our voices heard at the polling station. So far, Mr. Javis, I'm not seeing any tension in the streets.
Emmanuel, you follow the speech and you have it there of the eldest member of parliament. Your reaction?
I have a couple of reactions to do concerning the speech because I am tempted to think that this is an auto-imposed speech. It is my thinking because when you read from the speech and from the claims or demand the eldest member of the parliament had to plead to give it to Cameroonian, it looked like she wasn't convinced of what she's saying. I'm not blaming her. I blame the environment. For example, she says those who are tasked to mobilize the population should mobilize the population to vote massively as never before. Why are they doing that now? Why are they doing that now? We have heard the Minister of Territorial Administration saying that vote and registration is not by force.
That so the people should allow Elecam
to do their job. So are we not contradicting ourselves? These are things that we have to think. Okay, if the House of Assembly is actually that body that controls government action, the Minister of Territorial Administration shouldn't have said this type of thing. Again, there's another point. I looked at it, I was said, are we still in Cameroon? There's another point somewhere where she said that those who have the mandate to organize the election should organize election as stipulated by the law. If this is for Cameroonians, how long have Cameroonians been pleading for electoral reforms in Cameroon? According to the law, they say the laws that governs Elecam, they don't favor the population, they don't favor all the other political aspects. And she goes into parliament and says that they should do elections according to the law. Which law are we talking about? The House of Assembly, the National House of Assembly in Cameroon. We are beginning to look at it with a lot of doubt. And that is the same doubt that those people have recognized. They already realize that the population doubt their competencies and they are now feeling uncomfortable. And they go on crying that, saying that they are going to be tension everywhere. There is nobody after 2018 presidential election and after the post-electoral debate in at the Constitutional Council. After that, Cameroonian understood a lot of things, and there is no Cameroonian who will sit and begin to blackmail another one because of election. Everybody has one mentality: change. That is the common mind of all Cameroonians, from everywhere, from Noni to Kolofata, from Noni to anywhere. Everybody, there is nobody who will sit and say, looking at the political party, that because you are of the CPDM, I am of the MSA, I am of this. No, they don't have that. That was what characterized the 2018 pre and post. And after that, a lot of Cameroonians understood everything, and that's why we came back to Parliament, and we are still going back to them. The Parliament is that oblique, that is the melting point of any functional government.
It is the most powerful institution.
It is the most powerful, and if we have seen things happening the way they are, then there is a problem.
These are lawmakers.
The lawmakers who make laws, and they complain about the laws. You make laws and you complain. They are supposed to make sure that the laws they have been voted, the laws they voted, are being applied rigorously. Cameroon is a state of law. Why should we make laws and the lawmakers are doubting the law? Are instead begging people to apply the law? Should we beg people to apply the law? And that is where we find ourselves, with a lot of contradictory statements everywhere. You see the member of Parliament, the way this. You interview some of this MP, you will know that the House of Parliament, that is supposed to be where every voice is heard, is where little voices are being heard. You don't go there to express your mind. You go to table what has been given to you, and the go there is like a form of a drama. You see this type of there's this American thing called wrestling. It's an acted game. That's exactly what happens in the House of Parliament. Which means they come and portray the imaginary something fiction to look real, and then you see, and that is where we find ourselves.
But we have had laws voted.
We have had laws voted. I'm not refusing, but the most striking part of it, the most striking part of the laws that we needed. Please let me get to something. When you put in place a particular setup, or let me say in a build up a mechanic workshop, you're building up a car. If there is something one nut that is lacking on the tire, we don't neglect it because part of the whole part is already functional. You know where that particular part, that particular position on the tire that has been left uncompleted, you know where it can lead you to. That's exactly what is happening there, which means that there are laws, they make laws in, let's test the public how it's happening. Let's see this one. If they don't react, this is how we are going to allow it go. And that's why we find ourselves. We shouldn't come today on the year of the election and start clamoring for electoral laws or for the stakeholders to respect things, because the Parliament is a continuous institution that does not have recession.
But I'll come back to you. Yeah. Or maybe you learn.
I'm saying this. Cameroonians are aware of what awaits them. Go everywhere. They are voting. They are already registering on the electoral list. And there is no panic anywhere in Cameroon. Somebody thinking that there is going to be strike, there is going to be riot, there is going to be chaos. The person who thinks so is the problem. Is the one creating the problem. Because Cameroonian, we are the common people. I am coming from the public. I live in Douala. I have not seen I work with everybody from everybody. There's nobody.
I have not heard any.
I have not heard people. People make their jangi go around, do everything they want. And when you initiate a discussion about politics, I say, please go and register. Don't talk to me. Somebody told me, Emmanuel, don't talk to me when you don't have your voter's card. Any other discussion we have, we table it on.
And that's the truth. That's the truth.
So where is the panic coming from? In a cosmopolitan town like Douala. So please, we should not listen to a political ideology that are going to dissuade people from
maybe they are talking in reaction to what happened with the Minister of Youth Affairs and Civic Education, the bars.
Please, before Dixon come, let me come into that. What has been happening with the bars? It is not a thing of today. It is not a thing of today. They have even vandalized musicians, disrupted people going to concert in Europe. It's not a thing of today. So those people in Yaoundé should not sit and think that they can copy something, take something another way and paste it.
But should they downplay the threat, taking in consideration that they also have observed that the Anglophone crisis started based on the diaspora, and that if the bars are trying to bring in some kind of rhetoric that they may be, should they downplay it?
That is why Cameroon, a state of law, comes in. The laws should be applied. The parliament should make laws, put the laws, implement the laws that are supposed to be. We are a state of law, and let's rule according to the law. If we want to go by their dictates, and that's what we are advocating for.
Okay, Engineer Dixon.
Yeah, I simply say I'm okay with Mr. Emmanuel. There is no tension. This morning even, I was somewhere, had a small conversation on politics. I discovered that everybody was like, let the election come and pass. We'll go and vote.
Yes.
And whatever the outcome, we'll accept it.
Yes.
So when people start saying there'll be tension, there'll be this, there'll be that, I don't know where they are coming from. And I think I concur with him. Those who start preaching that there'll be tension, we should put eyes on them.
Yes.
They know something we don't know. Maybe they are not, yes. Because see, we should not encourage something. We also, when 2018 came, and the post-electoral tension that was there,
yes.
It's not something to laugh about, Mr. Java. I think areas in Douala were shut down for 1 week. Yes. Areas in Douala were shut down for 1 week, and in that 1 week, those who were there understood.
The business people
yes, they felt the pain. So it's we should arrive at maturity that whatever the election come, I think those who are going in for elections are not people who came from Mars. They are not people who came from Neptune. These are Cameroonians. All of us are Cameroonians. Mr. Javi, don't you know you can decide to run for presidency next presidential election? Yeah. You have the right. Don't you know that? It's enshrined. You are a Cameroonian. And you are of age.
Very much.
You understand? Age. So we shouldn't get into the partisan thing. Oh, party. No. To me, we want candidates that understand exactly what they are getting into, because we are in a new era, Mr. Javis. After COVID 2019, the world entered a new era.
Yes.
And I keep saying I pity parliamentarians who up to now don't even know what artificial intelligence is.
A lot of them.
We are in a new era, a completely new era. The world has so changed.
That's taking them
that they should be very careful, because you know you want to lead some people, and then the people that you are leading are smarter than you. You know how detriment that can be to you. So I think that the change that we are longing for may happen naturally, without even any tension, because the technological advancement where we are now is too advanced.
Yes.
That they themselves may even just give up. That no, we cannot lead this generation. Let put things in place so they can take this nation to the next level.
Let me just just before you continue, let me just give you what I observed based on a video that was published on the state broadcast website, where it says that Okada riders in Douala have all endorsed the president. The union of Okada riders have all endorsed the president for the 2025 presidential election. They handed over their memo to the Ferdinand Gongo.
Okay.
They handed over to Ferdinand Gongo, who was in Douala. Now, and the spokesperson of that, I actually said, let me do a bit of research. The spokesperson was Willie Kene. That they said he was the spokesperson. Now, then I went to ChatGPT. Then I said, ChatGPT, who is Willie Kene? Because the person, when I was expecting that the union Okada riders were actually, you expect ordinary day faces, or the kind of faces that you expect to be the spokesperson. Now, but I said, ChatGPT, who is Willie Kene? ChatGPT gave me that Willie Kene is a Cameroonian academic and researcher. He has a strong background in mathematics and computer science, having worked on projects related to detection of ruptures in weakly dependable processes with application of hydraulic data from the Savannah River Basin in Cameroon. Kenya is also associated with the University of Yaoundé, where he has contributed to various research initiatives. Accordingly, he has published works on Amazon, including a book titled La Création de Pictorial Inspire the Universal World in Bansoa. Kenya is a researcher interested in exporting. So now, that's just to tell you what the age of artificial intelligence is. Yeah,
I agree. It's easy to get information now more than ever. But that does not mean that the Willie Keye man cannot be spokesman of Okada.
He cannot,
this word can validate him to be spokesman of Okada. If I have 5 bikes on the road, for example, now in Douala, I am eligible to join the association of bike riders.
Yeah, no, I'm just.
It doesn't mean I'm a bike rider, but I own bikes.
I'm just telling you that artificial intelligence within the no speed of time,
they will know who you are. Exactly. So that is where we are, and I think that the leaders now, they should understand that the generation has. And what is annoying me, Mr. Javis, is that all this is happening when our production capacity is still very low. Are you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The production capacity of Cameroon is still very, very low. What quantity of refined palm oil can we produce? We don't have enough. Every year we import different jar of refined oil, sunflower oil, this oil from United, far away. Some come from Malaysia, some from United States. It shows that our production capacity is still very low. Now, if we are going to the digital age, when with very low production, are we sure to survive as a nation? That's a question we should be answering. Because if we don't have products, we will not have place for services. When we have more products, people will be more employed now in services, because products can lead to what? Supply chain management. And in supply chain management, you have more people being employed than even the producers.
Yes.
So, but if we don't have producers, then we have more people unemployed, and we have everybody now looking at the government. Everybody who needs a medical wants to have a job with the government. So I think that the leadership in place should look strictly in the production sector. What is it Cameroon can be? What is it we can process? And we should limit our importation. I think that if our leaders don't start looking at things from this perspective and keep on this old class political system, then we are just preparing ourselves for natural extinction and mass immigration out of the country. That is the end point.
Now, I want to ask you this follow-up before I get to here, Emmanuel. We listened to the eldest member of parliament. She said that those who are tasked with mobilizing voters should do that so that they can register massively. But we have had the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, who have said that people should not, voting is not by force, that they should allow Elecam to do his job. Now, you get this statement from the minister, from this eldest member of parliament. How do we reconcile this to this? Is there a misinformation, a information gap somewhere?
No, but he's right. Voting is not by force. I think we can contextualize it. In the context that I can still go and register.
And you don't vote.
The day of voting, I feel like I haven't seen any candidate that represents the interests of Cameroon. Because when you are voting, don't think yourself.
Yes.
That's why Cameroonians have not gotten it right when it comes to voting. When you are taking your ballot, don't think about yourself. You should be thinking about your village, about your nation, think global to vote.
About the future, not just this.
Not just an individual. I will not vote for you because your tie is nice. I will vote for you because I think I perceive something in you that is remarkable. I perceive something in you that can stir this nation. I don't know if you understand. So I don't vote because I have to eat. But Cameroonians are still with the mindset that they vote because they have to eat. That's why you can easily be bought. They'll give you 20,000. Yeah, because someone in your community will be appointed. And when the person is appointed, the person will do what I don't know. But that is not how we should look at that era of politics has passed. We are going. It's a global village now. Mr. Javi, we're in a global village.
Today you could be in Douala, and tomorrow you find yourself in the east.
You people are not observing. You are not paying attention to what is going on. The monetary system may be destroyed anytime soon. What we have now is a monetary system. When Donald Trump came last time, did he not reject Bitcoin?
He rejected Bitcoin.
Has he not accepted Bitcoin now? Has he not declared that Bitcoin will be the reserve currency of America? Is he not telling you something?
He just had the Bitcoin summit at the White House.
That's what I'm saying. If America said that Bitcoin will be our reserve currency, are we not going towards digital currency? What is Bitcoin? You can have Bitcoin in America, you trade in Cameroon, no exchange. The same, when Bitcoin is this, Bitcoin is that.
Bypasses the bank.
You bypasses the bank. So is it not telling you that they are testing a new monetary system? So we should abandon the old politics. We need thinkers. People who can be ahead of the game. All these people are old, Mr. Javis. That's what I've been saying here for a long time. We need people who can read time, who can look at the system and say, no, we can. And I say, if Cameroonians are going out to vote, they should be sensitive to these things. It's not about me, it's not about you, it's about our children and our children's children.
Honorable Joshua Nambagi OC in one of his videos said he actually presented artificial intelligence to some of the members of parliament. They were chilled, but the things he presented are things that primary school children are already aware of it, but they were chilled. They were asking, how is it?
Let me tell you, I was traveling I will not call name. I was traveling to Limbe yesterday. Do you know who carried me? When he introduced himself, when I look at him, I felt bad. An ex-DO, retired DO, running Clando. Do you know how bad that is? It means that even while you are in service, always in your mind is to eat from the coffers. You never think that someday you'll be out of that position. If you leave government from top position, expect to see ministers going on retirement as ministers and manning some of the best private institutions with standards. But the reverse is true. You find people who have not even been to school are the ones having some of the best institutions with standards. It's an irony. So to me, it shows that there's a lot that has to do with mentality. And if we don't start changing that mentality, every year we'll talk election. Election will come and go. Election will come and go. Have people who just want position to eat.
Just the now.
Just the now. That's why they can have 10 girlfriends, buy 15 cars to get and dash to girlfriends. But you go to some of their villages, there are many children there who can't pay school fees. So they don't think humanity. They think enjoyment because they feel they have made the ultimate sacrifice. Not understanding the payback after death. But when you read on the downfall of great leaders, I think that they should tremble. Because we have great leaders in the world that failed. Even in their last days, those things are there. You should tremble. What would your people have to say after you're gone? Legacy. The legacy mindset. What should I do? That will be so remarkable. That 10, 20 years, these people will not forget about me. The mindset is not there. That's why we can intimidate Cameroonians as we like. Because we feel we're on top of the world. But when they go out of the country, they walk in the streets like normal people. And we're running behind them.
Good morning to all giants in the studio. At certain moment, I wonder if you are the only journalist who, according to the Constitution, is allowed to have freedom of press due to your sincerity, your sincere analysis. Since we do not know, we won't celebrate you, because we might just instead be preparing a good meal for the king of Egypt. I believe the youth of today, the youth of other countries abroad never attack their government officials because the government stands for them in times of trouble. For instance, you will never hear any American citizen, South Africans stranded in a foreign country. In 2003, when the Nigerians were stranded in the United Arab Emirates because of visa ban, the Nigerian government sent a plane to transport all those stranded back home for free. But when Cameroonians were stranded in Lebanon and called for the government for help, the answer they got was that who sent them there? It is so sad to see youth manipulated by the same government who openly say they owe the youth no responsibilities. As part of the Cameroonian Diaspora Union under the UN, enjoying good roads, medical services, many companies, light and water, trying to make the government know it is her right to provide all those things for you guys back home suffering. You guys will go to the streets to protest against us that you guys don't need such facilities. What a pity. And don't forget that Cameroonians abroad will never invite the government abroad. So you can't come to my house and beat me and tell me how to cry. The Cameroon constitution is so flexible and can be twisted at any time to favor the leader. I'm sorry for the long message, Valentine. Valentine, thank you for your participation. This other one says, happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. I think that we, the people, need to understand that violence has no place in Cameroon. We must go and vote and ensure that we vote peacefully and allow the decision to come out. After all, we have been like this for a very long time, and it is better to be like this than to have a chaotic nation. Because what is happening in North and Southwest is an example of a chaotic situation. We will not want such things to happen. This other one says, I am Henry. I agree with Engineer Dixon. Those who are talking about violence should be investigated, because they seem to know more than we do. Because ordinarily, I don't think Cameroonians are even talking about violence. If Cameroonians are talking about elections, some are talking about not to even participate and to allow President Pobia to be there until the day God decides that he should no longer be there. So when I hear the speech and talking about violence, I think that those who are talking about violence should be investigated. This oranges, I think the government is being preemptive. What happened to the Anglophone crisis, like Mr. Javis, you said, should not happen, because the BAS members have been insisting that they may bring chaos if President Maurice Kamto is not allowed to run for election. And that's why you see the members of parliament are now calling on a peaceful organization of election and telling Cameroonians to shun violence. To me, she's right to say that. However, I think that she talking about democracy in Cameroon coming from President Pobia is not okay, because democracy did not come from President Pobia. President Pobia was forced to institute democracy. We had CPDM members of parliament who actually refused democracy. Mr. Javis, let me ask you this question. Do you know how many people were killed in Bamenda during the launch of SDF? Was that not a democratic process? If the government of Biya actually wanted democracy, why did he not peacefully allow SDF to launch their party in 1990, which many people were killed? Some had their hands removed because of grenades they were trying to catch. So to say that President Pobia bring democracy, to me, it is not true. Democracy was brought by the will of the people through the Social Democratic Front in 1990. Historical analysis. Mr. A. Emmanuel.
Yes.
Now, I want us to look at the statement made by the eldest member of parliament before we quickly move to the second topic.
Yes.
The statement that she says that those who have the mandate to organize elections should organize election according to the law.
According to the law.
According to the law.
According to which law that have not been respected? Question 1. Question 2. Have they not been respecting the law? Why
Do
not?
they need reminder again?
Do they need reminders? In other opinions of thought, they will say yes. The laws, they need to be reminded. And then we come back to ask our question is, which law was broken? By who? And what happened? It is a series of events to tell you that these people up there, they have this, I don't know, they have actually had something they don't want to tell Cameroonians. From 2018, because they said elections is being prepared from the very day the other one ends. Am I right?
Yes.
Good. So why have they been keeping quiet to come at the dire moment and start saying things? She even said the other time that men of God, let me read from what she said, that the devil, as we know, the devil, as we all know, is inclined to sow confusion between brothers and sisters. Let us allow men of God to do their work. That, okay, our country should commit Cameroon to God and pray against the spirit of division and the works of the devil. Okay. Right now that we're speaking, Ferdinand Gongo is with the Archbishop of Douala. The other bishops who said that express their political wish or the wish for Cameroonians, the bishops who are Cameroonians every day, and the very politicians came back telling them that, men of God, stay on the pulpit. You have nothing to talk about partisan politics or about elections in Cameroon.
And they were reminded that President Biya has not declared his candidacy, and that it's only when President Biya declares his candidacy that people can start talking about President Biya stepping down or not.
So they are the only ones who can talk about politics. That aside, these people who are asking men of God to pray for Cameroon, but they don't want to listen to what the men of God are saying, who is contradicting, who is fooling who? They are asking the men of God. I imagine that's what Ferdinand Gongo will be telling.
But we have other men of God who are saying that President Biya.
I'm giving the general answer of the men of God. I'm saying that if, let's imagine now the scenario that's happening down the cathedral. Now, Ferdinand Gongo telling the Archbishop of Douala, Samuel Plea, that please, you should pray for Cameroon because we have a difficult year at the end. But in other terms, he doesn't want to listen to what Ferdinand Gongo is, what the bishop is saying. Mm-hmm. In other terms, he was stopping the bishop from telling Christians the right thing to do. Are we dealing on puzzle dance here? They are playing with Cameroonian mentality, and it is not going to work because everybody. It is true in church. The church now is just like the political politics. The bishop will preach whatever news he has. Huh? I will take what is benefit for me. Like all the politicians will come to you. You will choose the one you like, right? So Cameroonians are already aware. You spoke about the other time, Joshua.
Joshua, Honorable Joshua, the president, who said that he presented artificial intelligence to some of his members of parliament.
Yes.
They were very surprised and asked if this thing is happening. And he said the thing he even presented, I think that secondary school children are already aware are using it.
Good. That's why I'm coming to. Who are those who voted the digital laws in Cameroon? Are they not the very parliamentarians? It means that they voted what they did not know.
But it's true.
They voted what, therefore, and it goes back to say that those people, they don't know what they do. Many of them, they don't know what to do. They don't actually, I don't know how they get there. Because you are supposed to be a parliamentarian. You are going to defend the government, to scrutinize the government, to build laws,
defend the
people, and which you don't.
And scrutinize the government.
How will you defend artificial intelligence or bring laws on artificial intelligence that you don't even understand artificial intelligence?
The issue of bitcoins has come again. Those are things that has been enshrined in the laws they vote. They themselves voted, but they don't have a mastery of it. How will they implement it? That is the question, and that's why I will keep on telling the Cameroonian youth that I am part. Please, we shouldn't go by emotions. Let's go by rationality. Let's use our brain. Somebody said, Fabrice Lena made in a video that is going viral. He said, and I quote, if those particular old people who own the political parties, if they don't want to see into the rationality of the youth, we shall abandon them with the party, and the youth will come back and form a unanimous organ to rule. You understand? We mean that because if actually the people, the leaders of our country were those people who consider the youth and their contribution, we shouldn't have having this type of thing now where members of parliament who vote a particular law on digital reformation in Cameroon and they don't know what it is.
But come to think of it, Mr. Emmanuel, do you know they are really sleeping to me? Now, time has changed. Yes. In those days, look at the business world. You used to have shops, right? Yes. But today, you do know having a shop is not enough. Yes. You need to have a TikTok account, which you publish every day. Yes. And you need to have a Facebook page. So, for you to make sales that can give you good returns, you need to be creating content. Look at what Ibrahim Traore is doing. His communication team is very dangerous. Every little decision he makes, yes, he publishes, and he doesn't say things he don't complete. Yes, he says when he's starting and when it's completed. When he's inaugurating, he's there. Everybody sees he has achieved that. And now by doing that, he's attracting the heart of youths of Africa, not just Burkina Faso.
He's the most popular.
He's the most popular African leader now, yes, because he has understood the power of social media. Yes. Now these old people who are there, they are walking like tortoises under the ground, thinking that one day we'll come and understand what they are doing. But we are not seeing anything.
Because they could be doing a lot.
They could be doing a lot, but we don't see it.
They could be doing a lot.
We don't know. Because we are seeing what we can see. We are seeing that schools are not standard. We are going to hospital to see there's a problem in the hospital. Maybe they are doing something else they are not telling. So there is power in communication.
Do they even go for media interviews? Do they even go for?
That's the thing.
Do you watch in the East African community?
See the way the media assassinated Trump.
Yes.
Do you know the coming back of Trump is again by media?
Yes.
When Joe Biden was saying we'll ban TikTok, Trump came and said his son Byron saved TikTok because it was in a meeting. Byron asked the father a question. Trump said, "Have you bothered using influencers?" Trump jokingly gave now the assignment to the son, who's 18 years old. Go and do research with your team and come out with the best influencers you think we can pass around them. And the son came out with a list. And Trump tried it. Do you know it was because of TikTok that Trump had 30%?
30% of his voters come
from youths,
yes,
of America. Yes. Because at that time, all the Gen Zs, they are on TikTok every morning, every evening, every afternoon, and they could now understand what Trump stands for. Why the Biden and the rest were on media, the traditional media. Then from nowhere, they saw that irrespective of the fact that they're assassinating Trump's character, the man is becoming more popular.
Within the grassroots.
Within the grassroots. So these are some of the things I'm trying to say. That the time has changed a lot. But we in Cameroon and our leaders, we have refused to follow the trend. Why is it that in Cameroon, our social media space is not being monetized?
And that is enough employment for the youth.
That alone can employ youths of this country.
Make them off.
Youths who are creative. There are some serious creative youths that I see on TikTok and Facebook in Cameroon.
We don't have pay-per-view.
They don't have pay-per-view. They do streaming in Boya, in Yaoundé, name it. Why is our space not monetized?
Government fought for that and had theirs.
Our government is sleeping.
Yeah, because William Ruto, Kenya called for TikTok,
everybody must work with the government.
Facebook,
Everybody must work with the government.
All these social media giants and told them that if they are not operating, they will shut them down. If they don't monetize, they will shut them down in Kenya. And they approved the monetization in Kenya for TikTok. They approved the monetization of Facebook and all the different social platforms. And they came and opened their base in Kenya.
So a lot has to be done in this country, Mr. Javis. This is farming season coming. I expect the Ministry of Agriculture to be moving all around the country, mobilizing farmers for great production at the end of the year. But everybody is in Yaoundé. Are farmers having fertilizers? Do they have roads to bring their products to town?
Ibrahim Traore donated the other day.
Ibrahim Traore is giving free fertilizers.
And tractors.
Why will he not be popular? The people, he said he want to give, he want to step down as a military ruler. The people rioted. It's the first time I'm seeing an African country rioting that you should not step down. I have always seen African countries going to the street rioting that their president should go down. It's the first time in my life I'm seeing a country, Burkina Faso, going out to the street. That Ibrahim Traore, what you have started, you finish. You stay there. All of that for what? Because the people now are seeing that they have somebody who understands the plight of the country. That is what we want to see in Cameroon. Not that we hate any leader in Cameroon, no. But things are not going. And look at the rate at which youths are developing.
In a fast pace.
In a fast pace. You meet a youth of 18-year-old, what the boy knows, you will blow your brain. Where is the space? Where is the space created for him? And mind you, when you have a population that is too smart, it's easy for them to become criminals.
Uncontrolled.
Uncontrolled. Easy for them to become criminals. Where is the mechanism of integration? Everybody must go and write concours. To go to where?
Or they travel.
No, traveling, that was they die in Mediterranean Sea. You know the world says some people got stuck in Libya or Mesopotamia or it's Lebanon, that they have to come back. Traveling is not a solution. Traveling is killing a nation. I said that here one time. If the government wants to see people travel, they are failed. Because 65% of all those who travel will not come back to this country. 65%. Their children they will have will not come back to this country.
That's how I have a good number of diaspora population out of Cameroon.
That's it. So it's not a good thing to encourage.
Okay.
If I was given the opportunity to be at the helm of leadership of this country, I don't think I will support mass immigration the way I see happening now. On daily basis, will be at the grassroots. Now, like I'm saying, the Ministry of Agriculture with his team has to go around and mobilize farmers. This farming season, what are they doing to farmers? Farmers will feel the impact of the government close to them. With respect to seed provision, fertilizer, mechanization, tractors should be made available for them, not machete and all the tools they are using now.
Okay. Good afternoon to everyone on the panel. With special greetings to Iya Emmanuel. Cameroonian MPs are calling for the respect of state institutions ahead of the 2025 elections to ensure stability. However, if these institutions are perceived as biased or if past electoral concerns remain unaddressed, their credibility may be questioned. True stability can only be achieved through fair reforms, trust building, and inclusive political process. Etalino watching from Noni subdivision. And this other one says, happy Sunday, Mr. Tah, and to all others. I think all the youths should create forum now towards this election per region, each one in a polling station, so that by 8 p.m. we will know the result and see what CPDM will do. And thanks. This is coming from Dosa Collins. Of course, this is another solution that somebody is proposing, Engineer Dixon, that the youth can come together and monitor all the polling stations and ensure that they have the result.
Social media is there.
You said something that the artificial intelligence is there, and the people should be careful because they can take you unaware.
Yeah.
It can come to
and with artificial intelligence, once you put data online and you ask AI to give you a synthesis of data,
yes,
it will extract everything and give you in one page.
And that's why we're encouraging everybody, even the other.
So I think this 2025 election, we should make use of our phones.
Yes.
Yeah, I think put on any online platform, be it Facebook,
social media, everywhere.
Just publish.
Good afternoon and happy Sunday, Mr. Javis, your panelists. Actually, I want to thank you for this program and more especially your panel. I 100% agree with the last speaker who delved mostly on voting for candidates who think about the future of the country and not themselves and their families. This day will come as a reference after the presidential election comes October 2025. Prince Fendi from Berlin, Germany. Prince, okay, you're talking about Prophet Engineer Dixon.
Okay. Prophet Engineer
that this day will come. He said this day. Let me take his words. He says this day will come as a reference after the presidential election. Come 2025 means he has marked this day.
Of course.
This other one say happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. I think Cameroonian youth should now know that we have the power for change. We will not dance to the tone of violence, but we will move to the tone of objectivity, and we shall use artificial intelligence put on our disposal. My word of encouragement is that all the youths who want change should go and register massively and vote and be at the polling station at the time that the votes are being counted, and make sure that they snap the process verbal and put it online. We will use artificial intelligence to collate the data and to know what happened. Then if we don't win, if the opposition don't win, or whichever party that wins, we will know that they won genuinely. After all, nobody will own Cameroon. We shall all die one day and go. Cameroon will still remain Cameroon. Sharon from the United Kingdom. Sharon, happy Sunday. Hello to you all in the studio. It is Sharon Kombati, if I don't pronounce our name correctly, Kombati from the United Kingdom. I am always happy watching your program, Mr. Javis, and the fine brains with you there, contributing to the growth of Cameroon. Mr. Javis, the youths have not registered massively because they already gave up, because they already gave up because the regime in power has made them to lose hope, because they feel that if they vote or not, the result will still not. The result will still go to the ruling party. The ruling party selected all the guys working at Electoral. What can change? What can change? Nothing. I mean nothing. The only way to change the only way to change the government is only by forcing the Biya regime to move out, because election will change nothing. Of course, election will change something, Sharon. I think that I have quoted an example of what happened in Uganda. What happened in Uganda, where a crucial seat that was to be won by Yoweri Museveni's party was won by the opposition, Bobby Wine. And this was in a by-election. And all what the ruling party did with the pressure from Yoweri Museveni, what only happened was that the opposition mobilized the people. The people turned out massively in that polling station and they voted. So the bigger the number, the more difficult it is to read. But the smaller the number, of course, you know the situation. You know the answer to that problem. This other it says, happy Sunday to you guys in the studio. I love the program, and I want to say that what Engineer Dixon has said about the artificial intelligence is true. Look, for example, Bitcoin. It is also shameful that our educational system is not incorporating Bitcoin as a course or even is still as a program. Because if you look at what is happening, Bitcoin, our business institutions, School of Business institutions, all those universities like Faculty of Social and Management Science, they don't think that Bitcoin is a course. It's not being taught. cryptocurrency is not being taught. But look at Trump and other nations are embracing cryptocurrency. There are nations that have made cryptocurrency their national currencies in the world, and we are fast gaining ground. Let me tell you, banks will become obsolete in future without this. That was the same thing that you said.
Of course, I said we are not reading time because our leaders now, once you see a trend that's coming up globally, mobilize your experts. And if you feel they don't have the intelligence enough, get the intelligence as fast as possible, because in this game of survival, do you know why the British Empire went about colonizing the world? Have you ever asked yourself that question? It wasn't for the sake of civilization. They colonized the world for survival. They were a small island with limited resources, and they said if they don't take this move to colonize the world, when these people discover what they have, they will come against them. So they use the protective, how do they call it? That the best form of protection is to attack.
It's attack.
So before the people get awareness of what they have, because they were a very intelligent country, they went after the people, colonized them, but they colonized them in the name of civilization. Meanwhile, the main objective was to get that resource, and they succeeded. So every country should think survival. If you are in the helm of leadership, don't just think internal and global. So if something is coming and the world leader, the most powerful man in the world, tell you, I think this thing is right, don't sleep.
And has opened up.
And even said, the reserve of my country is this thing. Don't sleep. Because if you sleep, then you are not ready to survive.
Mr. Emmanuel,
Yes.
now rounding up this, what should be the way forward for this turning down the rhetoric? Because you also not dismiss the fact that when you watch some political discussion, you see people panelists trying to put fear in the minds of the people.
I will say what I've been saying. We, the masses, the electorate, we should make good use of our brains and not our emotions, because that is one principle that we saw when when you read the book The Prince by Niccolo Machiavelli. He said there's a political strategy you want to use. If you can make the people afraid of you, either through lies or through intimidation, and you gain your powers and you achieve what you want, do it. That is exactly what the people up there are doing. And we have come of age to see that that doctrine is already obsolete, and we are encouraging ourselves. Don't be intimidated. Don't listen to those intimidation. They will sit and do. But be rest assured that nothing is going to happen if you get on the right path with your reasoning. And that's what we're saying. Let me just chip in something to the evolution of the Bitcoin. Something. The world is advancing, but we look at us Africans. We are going to print hard coins.
Currency.
Hard coins.
We still have a lot of coins in our
See,
flow.
we have. There's the people it is instead part of the government saying that because they are reading to the population, they're saying that their coins are in short supply, short circulation.
Just to add to what you said, what you are
really
saying, you continue.
Yes.
Donald Trump stopped the printing of cent
Yes.
in America that is costly.
Yes.
But do you know that in Cameroon we are still printing 5 francs, 1 franc?
Which is costly.
And we don't use them.
Because that's raw earth.
Yes, raw earth, and we don't use them.
That is what
is the use of 1 franc, 10 francs? We don't use them.
That is what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say. That we are taking.
No, we wanted to pay bills. That idea came, I think, in early 2000 when bills were a problem. But we have evolved from bills now. I think we can pay bills online, electronically. Momo has come in, OM has come in. Why are you going to print coins again?
They said, and there's something with this issue of coins. When you go around Buea is a typical example of a silicon town in Cameroon. You can pay a taxi anywhere without exchanging coins with anybody.
You pay
You can pay a taxi. You can do all your transactions in Buea without exchange of physical cash. Why are we not copying that our thing? And that's why the government will still take and go and print coins to come and what is the value of each franc?
That's huge money, eh?
It's
raw earth. It's raw earth.
The material used and
That's silver.
The international market. You will see the material, the word of the material used, and then you will know that we are wasting resources on things that we should have embraced the digital world and advance and put the principles, the things, and that's why I keep on saying these people vote laws that they don't know what they're voting, because we will have experts who go to them, they go for orientation seminars to tell them, okay, this. It's just because you see, I am an MP. go to the parliament, even the bills, they don't even give them this, which says, the financial bill, which says 15 days before the opening session. You go the very day they present it, how will you know? Nothing. And that's why they are forced to do or to simply accept unanimously of what has been presented to them, because someone is going to come with prepared answers, prepared questions, and read to people.
And say answer like this.
Yeah, and you go away, and that is why we are not seeing any evolution.
Do they really take time to read those?
That's
things?
why they don't. I want to say that they don't, because we have had things. People, if they read bills, if they read those things, why would
I think I gave an advice here one time, Mr. Javis. You must not be illiterate to be an MP, but I think the money they are paying you is so you can run your office. So, and every MP is supposed to attach himself or herself with a seasoned lawyer. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. You are supposed to attach yourself. You may not understand the intricacies, the in and out of laws, but you should understand what you are signing. So you need a legal mind that goes through certain bills. And MPs can also propose bills,
But in Cameroon, we don't have private member bills. That's even.
MP can propose private bills of their constituency, what they want to see change in their constituency.
In the parliament, in the floor parliament, people propose private bills, but the problem is that some of those bills do not go through. Some of those bills, they don't go through.
Why don't they go through? You yourself, you are being in the parliament. Why don't they go through?
Because the thing of it's not every lord has a they don't go through.
You're not talking water in your mouth.
Yeah, many of those bills, even political parties.
Okay, is it that before the bill go through, they need to pay for a sitting?
I did not say so, but I'm saying that many of those bills do not go through. You can present a bill. When it goes to the commission for evaluation, they say it has some lapses. They put it aside.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So it may have a technical issues, technical lapses, and so on and so forth. And then at the same time, they can still modify the bill and come with it to another way. And then
as if it's their bill.
It's their bill. That's what is happening.
And then globalize it now.
Yes. Okay. Let me tell you something. What happened? The 2014 terrorism law. Who brought it? Who brought it?
It was the SDF
when it was presented as a private bill, by who? When it was rejected, later on, who brought it? That is the politics we're talking about. That the Parliament of Cameroon had done this. When they were presenting the bill, did you see them mentioning that it is the SDF who bought it, or from the preambles of
no, it's coming from the House of the Assembly.
From the House of the Assembly. So that's why we're saying they can reject the private bill, not because they want to give credit to somebody or to a particular political party, and that's why SDF people today have been saying that it is time to them that the 2014 terrorism bill.
But that terrorism bill has also largely been criticized.
It has been criticized because what they themselves say that what the components of the bill, the articles of the bill that they advocated for, that they put in place, were not respected, and it was now being modified and brought to the way they want. And that's why we have been asking. We have been struggling. I struggled the last time I went there for something. I said, okay, please, I want to see that particular bill. What the SDF submitted. It is not where they were found. They have it, but the
so which means that what the SDF submitted was modified.
It was modified to suit.
Okay, we are almost out of time. Let's get to the second topic briefly. The second topic, we are looking at what steps can the next president of Cameroon do to tackle corruption and transparency.
Corruption is a old discussion in this country. I think since when I was in primary school, I started hearing corruption. Many decisions have been taken, actions have been taken to curb corruption. I think in the early 2000s there was Operation EPV, Sparrowhawk. They give it many names. Then later they say now it's Konak. Yes. You know, all of these are private agencies set by the head of state to bring down corruption. Now, if we have to address corruption, Mr. Javis, I think we should ask ourselves one simple question. What is the cause? Can you address something you don't know the cause? Taking people, locking them up for corruption isn't really, it has not solved the problem. Many people have been locked up for corruption. From early 2000, they arrested many big guns in this country, attacked them with corruption. I'm hearing billions money. You may die. Would I ever see they attack it? This one 90 billion, 50 billion. Meg, and I used to take calculator then. I was in secondary school, divided a lot. I said, Meg, this money one person is having. I said, wow. And even taking these people out has not solved the problem. There's still corruption. So being too hard and harsh, to me, is not the only solution. Can be a solution after you have discover the cause. When you discover the cause, now to remove something, you have to replace it with something new, right?
Yes.
Now, I think one of the cause of corruption is low wages. When somebody enters civil service, he punch what is being paid, he multiply it, say maybe he enters civil service at the age of 30, and then he knows that he's going on retirement at the age of 55. Say 55 or 60. So he has 30 years to go on retirement, and he sees that he's being paid maybe 220,000. As a single person, it's a good money for him. Then later he gets married. He now start making children. These children have to go to good schools, and he has to construct. And now start punching his calculator and see that, hey, the next 15 years that I have left, I may not achieve all my personal goals. So what happens? You find the person now start doing other things to meet up. So I think that is the fundamental root of corruption. Not that most of the people that are corrupt are bad people, but they have just put 1 + 1 together and it's not adding up. So if the government also identify that this can be the issue, all right, which areas of corruption can we tolerate? Which areas we may oversight? Because there are some areas we should not tolerate. Example is like the customs. We can't tolerate that. We know the revenue that comes in, and if all of this money don't get into the state coffers, we'll be short of it. So now, if we say, all right, we will not tolerate this, we can curb this, because there is no nation even that is corruption free. Even United States. United States is not corruption free, but just that they have already identified areas they will not tolerate corruption in, and areas they can tolerate. Meaning, if they see, they will do like this, as if they have not seen. So we need to identify these areas.
It is very important.
Until it is very important. But we identify these areas. Now, these people that are working in these areas who cannot tolerate corruption, how can we make them comfortable? I don't know if you understand where I'm going to. If we say, okay, the customs are working at the poor, we want them corruption free.
Or
nobody
80% corruption.
80% corruption free. Nobody should be able to corrupt them. What can we do for them? These are people we should be able to keep them well. That the more money enters the coffers, the more incentives you have. Right? That's an example. I'm not an expert here, but I'm just saying that we replace a system with another system.
A reward system.
A reward system whereby somebody who is working hard, you do it official. Invite them, give them money, let people see, build them houses. If a custom worker see that, hey, I work with this guy, he was selling this post, this guy work where the government has buried him a good house, I too can work well, and so I can get that house. So we should have a reward system, and only then now can we say, all right, in this sector, if we catch corruption, you are now finished. Because even before China said they punish corruption by death, go and check Chinese officials, they are fine. Chinese diplomats are fine. Chinese are doing well. Chinese diplomats are well paid. So before they say you corrupt, they kill you, they make sure you are first of all comfortable. That if you are corrupt, then truly corruption is inside your blood, then they have to catch it out. But I don't think that Cameroonians are corrupt because they are really corrupt. But I think the hardship. You know, when you start having 1 child, 2 child, 3 children, 4, 5, it becomes difficult. So I think that the government can only look at areas they can tolerate, where we think that we are going to make more money into the state treasury. That's area we should not joke with, because you don't want people being corrupted in that area. Like the taxation. The taxation should not be corrupt. If they are corrupt, more money will not get into the state. So how do you make them comfortable so they get more money into the state coffers? So I think that in our approach of corruption, we should look at things from that perspective.
Mr. Emmanuel.
Thank you. Corruption is an age-old topic and debate all over the world. We know Cameroon has had a difficult and blacklisted countries in the world. And that's why when they fight against corruption started when Bial talked about rigor administration, he had to bring in measures to tackle corruption. But like you said, like we were saying, if there is a candidate who is coming out for the election, or who wins, the person who wins in October, there are these 3 principles he has to put in place. I'm just going to say what people have been saying. The first to guarantee to reduce corruption in Cameroon, to increase an effective separation of power in Cameroon. If powers are being separated in Cameroon, let's say the judiciary is functional,
independent.
Or 80% independent, because you can never be totally independent.
When we talk about independent, people construe it to be like the judiciary can, it's like it can live and function on its own without the other part. No, the government parastatals have a melting point, a meeting point where you know that I am independent, but this is where I end. We have regulations that prescribes all those other things. Let there be effective separation of powers, which means that nobody stands somewhere to say that if there's a case, if there's a minister, if there is a minister who may be by let me go by the common law dictum, who has been suspected of corruption, suspecting you is not making you a criminal.
Yeah.
If there's somebody who has been suspected, let the judiciary carry its investigation independently without anybody influencing, saying that you don't go there, you don't ask him, do not this. We have seen cases we have heard about Cameroon where they said this person is supposed to come, I am supposed to answer the charges because I am still waiting for this particular person to give me the go ahead before I can answer. Secondly, let Article 66 of the Constitution of Cameroon and its constituent articles be implemented directly.
You're talking about text of implementation.
Text of implementation. Thank you. If we do go by that, we should have. If let's say if the principle of the rigor administration came with this particular article in application, that anybody appointed, you go before the Senate, you go before the National Assembly, you do a declaration of what you have. At the end of, after you've served your 7 mandates or 5, because appointment is a discretion something, after you serve your mandate, you come back to the very people on live and present to the people, okay, as I went in, this is what I have. We already knew what you have when you were going in. As I'm going out, this is what I've achieved. Those calculations are there. You will see that the extravagant things we see, because some of these people have been charged of corruption, whereas it is just because they buy cars or they use money, they give money to people left and right. In the process of thinking that they are doing good, they take money for different things and they give to people.
No, but it's wrong. Don't justify that.
That's what I'm saying. To them,
don't justify that. You run institutions by budget,
good,
and that budget is approved, and you don't act out of budget.
That's what I'm saying. That
yes,
they can act out of budget. They can be acting in the budget by doing the wrong things, and that's why they
no. The budget has budget head, so everything you are supposed to do.
No,
that's administration.
Yes, that's
don't encourage things like that. If you are holding an office, you have annual budget for that office, and you have everything. You work within that budget.
Please, I wasn't encouraging that. I was simply saying something. That is just something that happens.
Yes.
Right. I wasn't encouraging that.
Okay.
Thank you. Then the more, let me say, there's another aspect of corruption that if the next president comes up, he should try to encourage he should try to make sure that Cameroonians have good wages and salaries.
Very important.
If Cameroonians are well paid, they will concentrate on delivering the services their offices require from them. That's all. Because people go around stealing because they lack. They cannot meet up with the ends. They cannot meet up with the family requirement.
Yeah.
They cannot meet up with the societal demands.
Okay.
Look, for example, if you are an honorable, if you are let me say a member of parliament, you have to, or let's say a senator, you have like how many divisions to tour, or subdivisions, to tour. For example, let me take the senator of Abui. She has like 6 subdivisions to tour, and she has in those 6 subdivisions, she has how many palaces to visit. She has how many schools to visit?
But if you are
so if she's visiting, she's dashing money.
Excuse me. Let me talk. I'm not saying
we
mean that as a senator who is controlling a division, there should be at least enough. The government should provide enough for the senator
for movement
for her office. if she's so that when she wants to carry out, he or she wants to carry out her duty, she should not be thinking of siphoning money meant for her to perform her duties by keeping the money for herself. But let her be, because we discover that the workload is much and the salary is less. I'm not saying
the running budget.
Excuse me. The workload is much.
Okay.
And the budget is seemingly small.
We're out of time. Let me get
she
to
wants
Mutaga,
to. Minister, I'm not specifying somebody.
Mr.
I'm talking
Emmanuel.
about office, please.
Oh,
no,
yes.
Dixon is derailing me.
No,
Not
much time now. We're out
It's
of time.
okay. It's okay.
No, we're out of time.
I want to clarify.
No, he's not. He's not. We're out of time. We're out of. Mr. Mutaga, thank you for joining us. We're out of time. Maybe you give your brief reaction about this issue. What should the next president do to tackle corruption and transparency? You have the CRM. A candidate is preparing to register for the election of October. So what should we expect from your party if your party is in power?
Mr. Tah Mai Javis, let me apologize to the millions of your televiewers who were expecting to have me here on set, but then had some family hitches, you know. Sometimes you get up in the morning as a family head, the children and all the like, one may fall sick and you have pressure to really see how you can handle it. So let me just try to chip in. What is expected of the next president of the Republic of Cameroon, especially with combating corruption and transparency and promoting transparency? The very first thing is by putting the right people at the right position to manage. There's supposed to be a kind of a moral sensor to know the past of the person that we are bringing up in power.
That's vetting.
Yes. We are not just bringing people to give them posts of responsibility simply because we find them that they are very cunning, they are maybe active in political affairs and all the like. But first of all, there is the moral aspect. And then when you look at the Article 66 of our Constitution, which I'm quite sure my two co-panelists, predecessors, had already spoken on it. If that is enacted, it is promulgated into law, you find that it will permit whosoever that is given a post of responsibility as a minister to declare his assets before he ascends to power, so as to ensure to guarantee that when he enters power, he would not have to sign for government money, maybe to direct to his private investments and all the like. And then another thing is this: you see, we also need to look at the age limit to occupy certain posts of responsibility, or the duration to which you have to maintain yourself at a particular post. You know, when a person has maintained himself, is maintained in a particular position for a long time, you see, he tends to know exactly how he can manipulate the system, especially and all the like, and then they tend to make it their family affair. So in such a way that they just get their family member the next morning, and then it's not on meritocracy. They confine businesses to their family members. Sometimes when a family member maybe embezzles money, it becomes very difficult for them to maybe to drag that person to court because of the fact that they are linked by blood and all the like. So you see, the next president of the Republic has to combat nepotism, tribalism, you know what I'm saying, and favoritism, especially with regards to the appointment to key posts of responsibility in the nation. People should be appointed because of their moral background, because of their academic wiredness, because of their natural wiredness. So with all these things, you know, and then the first thing is that we must look at the strides of the person, especially those things he has done to portray to the nation that he's patriotic, because some of these people who embezzle money, who siphon money, some of them, our brother just said that maybe when they go, it takes a care of senators that they're going down, they need to distribute money and all the like. Forget of these cases of those elected officials. They are not even, it's not that these elected officials, thank you, these elected officials, sometimes it's but normal. Those who elect you to power, they expect that when you come there, you should buy them a bottle of drink, you should give them a granite, you should do this and all the like. Our main points are those government ministers that The National Assembly votes money for them to invest in key projects. You find that they siphon those money. They go to Europe, get white prostitute there, enjoy themselves, and then they launch themselves in good hotels in Europe. No, this is
no.
This is the gospel truth, my brother.
You cannot say that.
It's not a gospel truth.
So,
you know exactly.
Yeah, we take exception. We take exception.
Anyway,
yes, we take exception.
anyway,
My media bank take exception.
I've gone closer to some people. I think when I was at the Congress Center prison, I would tell you this honestly. There's somebody who explained to me exactly. He's been closer to ministers. He told us exactly if what happens when they go out. Some of them when they go to Philippines, you meet there, you see those soft girls like that. At night, you need to see the ministers need to pick one of them, three of them.
Let's focus
so
on
they waste government money. They waste government money.
No.
And then another thing is, if you look at the way some of our money that is being embezzled, even because if these guys were embezzling those money to invest even in infrastructures here, in farms here, they embezzle those monies. What do they do with the money? They take the money, go and save it in Swiss banks. They save it in American banks, in European banks. And the white men are enjoying the interest there. So that's why you see, when a president like Donald Trump said how to freeze the accounts of African heads of states, which are in the United States of America, I want to say it's laudable because it's unheard of that you have money in a continent where the average citizen is unable to have at least a square meal per day. Let's even say to feed on 500 francs, 1,000 francs per day. You take that money, go and invest it in a bank, where that money is not yielding. Yes, so it's not producing any tangible positive effect on the lives of your brothers and sisters. So, like I said, the next president, like Professor Maurice Kamto has always said it, the first thing to be done in these nations are institutional reforms. The institutions of the nations have to be reformed. The constitution of the nation has to be touched. You have to. There are a lot of things that need to be done with the constitution of the nation, because you see, the constitution of the nation is one of those things that has not permitted for a lot of accountability. It has made there's no actual separation of power, because if there was effective separation of power, you find that these
we're out of time.
These people who embezzle money, those people who siphon government money, still enjoying the protection of the executive. You know, they have a certain immunity. The judicial arm of government can easily seize their case files and prosecute them. But since the judicial arm of government is still dependent on the executive has a heavy hand on them. You find that it is difficult for them to to be prosecuted for any act of corruption and embezzlement. With this, it's quite difficult to hold those who are managing government coffers accountable when the judiciary is weak. So, like I said, we need to empower the judiciary by guaranteeing its total independence. Because where there is no justice, you find that there is bound to be all sorts of evil things and anarchy.
Okay, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Tah Mai Javis. Like I said, I had to apologize to the millions of televiewers of my media prime. I had announced to good friends and the relatives that will be here in this program, the House of Commons. Unfortunately, I came quite late. So thank you for inviting me.
Week.
I'm quite sure by God's grace, next time we'll be on set as early as possible.
Thank you, Mr. Emmanuel, for coming.
Thank you, and I'm happy to speak. The man of the Readiness movement, finally. I've just been seeing him. I'm happy, the engineer, and I want to thank the Noni community, especially who came out yesterday to welcome the fun of Jean, who is downtown. It's been a pleasure sharing with you all.
Happy Sunday to you all in the studios. They say we should protect state institutions, but what has the state institution done to improve our lives? Young people in Cameroon, please take a look at our window and tell me what you see. This is best writing from Yaoundé. Thank you very much, Engineer Dixon, for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Javis, for having me once more, and happy Sunday once more to our televiewers and to the youths of this beloved country. Go and get your voters card. Like I always say, 2025 will not be business as usual. Let's make use of the power that we have,
which is the voting. Okay. Thank you very much. I want to say happy Sunday to you, Mr. Nyam Robert, and your wife in the United States of America, Joan, Kelia, Myra, Happy Sunday to all those of you who have been watching. Papa J in the DC, that is Mr. Joseph in Washington, DC. Tiny Joseph in Washington, DC. Happy Sunday to you. All those of you who have taken your time to watch us. This program comes on every Sunday at exactly 12 to 1:30, rebroadcast 10:30 p.m. today. Until we meet again, no matter the matter, what matters is your matter. And what should matter is that go get your voter's card ready and get set. Not just complaining, but be the change by casting your ballot. My name is Tah Mai Javis, Cameroon Commercial Capital Dweller. Until we meet again, stay out of trouble. Bye-bye.